Hey everybody, welcome to this video. It's a little sketchbook tour. I thought I would share one of my sketchbooks with you, and that way you could just kind of look through it and see what I keep in there, and I could talk a little bit about it. So I've been keeping sketchbooks for probably about a decade that I keep them pretty regularly. I had little pieces of paper and doodles and things like that I would do before, but I never really had a sketchbook that I would keep purposefully, that I would go out and buy them and keep ideas and practice in them. I've only been really doing that for probably about the past 10 years or so. Prior to that, and again, I just used to keep scraps of paper and I would draw on things. I would doodle in the margins and that was fun, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit more systematic and quite honestly, I came across Moleskine notebooks one day and just really fell in love with them. I know there's lots of other notebooks out there, but these are just the ones that I was in contact with, and I had some other notebooks and I just really like Moleskines. I like the paper, I like the packaging, I like the different covers that you can get, and I like the little pouches that they have and everything. And that's actually from a dream that I had. But I started using them pretty regularly. I started out with really small ones, and then I got some larger ones, and I've been doing it pretty regularly ever since. And I find that's a lot of fun. I don't really go anywhere without them. I take them with me in my backpack to work. I take them with me on trips. I take smaller ones for trips, so I have different notebooks for different scenarios. I have little travel moleskines that I take with me that are good. You can just, put them in your pocket, put them in a bag, a pouch, whatever you have, and they're great. They're really nice to draw in, and I keep watercolor sketchbooks too. Those are really great. I like the paper there. I definitely want to experiment with some other notebooks that are out there, but I'm just in a Moleskine habit, I suppose. It's just what I've been using, what I've been going to, and they've been working pretty good for me. I think the paper's solid enough. It doesn't really bleed through, and it works pretty good. So I'm going to continue using them, but every time I go to the art store, I definitely see some other things that I'd really like to try. So if you guys have any suggestions of what you like, what you use, please feel free to comment. Let me know what kind of things that you use, and I might be willing to try that out and try something new. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with these. And I get different color notebooks. I've had the black notebooks. I really like these red notebooks. They stand out. They're harder to lose. So if you have them sitting on a table somewhere, you're less likely to walk away and leave it there because it's bright red and sticks out. And I've even been experimenting lately with doing some block printing on top of the notebooks. I actually found out that it's not very good to use water-based ink, especially if you're moving around and taking your sketchbook with you on the go, putting it in your bag and drinking coffee and spilling things. So the water-based ink just tends to smudge and run if you get anything on it at all. So I've been experimenting with some of the oil-based inks, and they seem to be a little bit more permanent, even though they take much longer to cure or dry. I feel like long term it's a better option, especially if people are going to be using their sketchbooks a lot, and we don't live clean, tidy lives. We're going to be spilling things, so I think that the oil-based ink works really good. And there's a little self-portrait that I did of me, and you can kind of see in some of these. Oh, well, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna actually no, that's halfway through. We're gonna spin it to the other side. So actually, one of the things that I do is there's an app called Sketchy, and a lot of people post selfies up there and pictures, and you can draw people and then post them back up there. And what I'll do is I usually draw on the right side of the sketchbook, and then on the left side I have my phone, usually is what I'm using, and I just hold the sketchbook and the phone, and then I'll draw on the right side. So I typically go through a sketchbook all on the right side, and then I flip it over, and then I'll do the other side. So that's why we're kind of going through this twice. It makes for a little bit longer of a video, but that's just the way that I go about doing my sketches. But Sketchy, for you guys that aren't familiar, it's a really, really great app. It's just really cool. Lots of people posting things up there, and then you can draw people and you can see the before and the after. You can see the picture that they took, and then you can see the artist's work. And it's a really nice little community to work in. So it's a free app. You can download it. I'm sure it's available on most platforms, but it's pretty cool. Check it out. I like it a lot. And I'm just going through some more of the portraits here. So this sketchbook is mainly portraits and some odd things. Just sometimes I just start drawing and making lines, and then you'll just get that. So that's actually, I think, a Santa that I made for a holiday card a little while ago. So it was just a quick little design. It's easy to make. That way you don't have to do anything too complicated if you're making a bunch of cards. I think I made that for, I think my girlfriend for a card one time. But yeah, for the most part, this one I think is mainly portraits, but the sketchbook that I'm keeping now, it's got a lot of ideas in it for greeting cards and holiday cards. I've started doing a little bit more of those. Those are fun to do. So sometimes I'll jot down an idea in the sketchbook first before I start sketching it out on a printing block or soft cut or something like that. I'll generally do it in the sketchbook first so that I can just get an idea and just kind of get the flow going with how I'm going to make it and draw it. That elephant back there, my little cousin wanted me to draw his elephant. Whenever we go on trips, he often will have me draw different things and draw this, draw that, draw Uncle Beavers, draw, different people. So it's a lot of fun. He really likes to have the sketchbook out, and he'll draw things and then I'll draw things, and it's definitely a lot of fun. So it's good to get the kids interested in it. It's just a little abstract thing. And for most of these portraits, some of them are a little messy. I'm not really going for accuracy. I just really like the process. Sometimes I'm not really even too concerned with what the outcome is. Sometimes I am kind of surprised by how they come out. Sometimes they look, really good, really sharp. And other times they're, a little off. But again, for me, it's really more about the process. I've learned over the years that I definitely want to try and improve on drawing skills and painting skills, but for me, the process is the most important part, and I've learned to love that and not to worry too much about comparing myself to other people, and just really have gotten comfortable in my own art style. And I think that's important too. If you try to be too much like another person, or too realistic sometimes, certainly there's a place for realism. I just don't have the personality for realism. So for me, just embracing my style and a little bit of sloppiness, a little bit of abstract expressiveness, I've just learned that that's my thing. And this is another drawing that I started and just wasn't sure where it was going to go. And, sometimes you're a little surprised by the outcomes. So here's a couple more. Sometimes I like to put initials and acronyms in the margins to fill in space. Usually it's because of a person that I met. Oh, that actually is it. So thank you guys for tuning in here. This is the end of the sketchbook tour. If you like it, leave a comment, hit the like button. That way I can make some more for you. I've got tons of sketchbooks. So I hope to talk to you guys soon, and we'll see you next time. Bye.